How's it going, guys? Welcome back to another video. This is going to be a full main card breakdown for LFA, what is it, 107 now? Yeah, LFA 107, we got Kirk and Daniel Swain, so should be a fun main event. And we're not going to touch the prelims as per usual. Get right into the main card, and kicking off the night we have Magosso and Luciano Ramos at 135 pounds. So Magosso 5-1, training at Team Alpha Male. He's got 5 pro wins, 4 of them were finishes. He's 1-0 in the LFA with a round 1 KO, like within a minute. Really nice performance. Good hand speed. He gets good work into the body. He's got a lot of power in his hands. He's able to, stick some hard shots and get out. So I do like what I've seen from him so far. Ramos, he's 1-0 in the LFA. He got a fight set up with Latchman a couple cards ago on short notice. And that was on LFA 103, and that was a good fight. He looked good there. He likes the low kicks. He has power in those. He's got decent feints and head movement. He is a little bit too available to be hit for my liking in this fight sometimes, but he's a really good grappler. But I'm going to be going with Magosso here. I feel like he hits harder, moves a little better, and just kind of the better all-around striker. And I think that the longer this stays standing, the better it is for Magosso. Ramos is definitely a good fighter. I'm not writing him off here, and maybe the line should be a little bit closer than it is. But I do think that Magosso is going to get this done, so I'm going with Magosso in this one. And moving on to the next fight, we have Taylor Malden and Ambar De La Heron at 125 pounds. So Malden coming in 0-0, making her pro debut. She has one amateur fight that was in 2017, which she won by submission in the first round. Really not much to go on. De La Heron also 0-0 as a pro. This is her pro debut as well. She fought as an amateur on LFA in 2018, where she was defeated, and then won as an amateur on CFFC in 2019. Both of them went the distance. So this is a complete shot in the dark, guys. I'm not touching this with a 10-foot pole. There's nothing I could find on either fighter. I'm being honest with you here. So I guess I'll go with the one who was a finish. If I really had to pick one, Taylor Malden, but I don't know. If you're betting on this fight, I think you're a little bit crazy, but do you? So if you want to have money on that, go ahead. But I personally won't be. And then moving on to another fight that I'm going to have nothing to do with, we have James Wilson versus Daniel Jefferson at 125 pounds. So Wilson is 3-0. He's 27, training out of King's MMA. All of his pro wins have come in Gladiator Challenge, which if you guys watch my channel, I don't really think too highly of that promotion. It's somewhat low level. In my opinion, not really a high-level promotion. They're all round 1 wins for him, under 2 minutes though, so that's kind of exactly what you would hope to see with him fighting there. He hasn't fought since the end of 2019, but he is getting rounds in with excellent fighters at the gym. On his Instagram, there's you can see that he was training with RDA. He has cornered Marvin Vittori before, so his striking seems pretty sharp off training clips, but that's not really much to go off of. And then Jefferson, 2-2. He's 30 years old. He's gonna have, I think he's gonna have the size advantage here. Hard to say though. He is in great physical shape. From the 1/3 round bit of tape that I could see from him, 3rd round of one of his fights is all I could find. He looks like a pretty decent sized lightweight. He's probably fought the better guys, if I'm being honest. That Gladiator Challenge stuff isn't really super great. He's more active. He's fought more recently. His striking looks pretty decent. Pretty hard kicks, but just very limited tape. He looks athletic in there, but not really much I could take away from it. I guess I'll go with James Wilson. I'm just gonna trust the camp that he comes from. Training with the guys at King's MMA. Your corner in Marvin Vittori, training with RDA. So he must be pretty decent. He's 3-0. Can't really find anything on either guy outside of 1/3 round of one of Jefferson's fights, so I guess I'm going to side with the guy training out of King's MMA, but I'm not going to touch this one either. And then moving on to Jordan Heiderman and Anthony Garrett at 265. So Heiderman is 3-0. He had a nice 2-year amateur career before turning pro, where he was 7-1. He's 3-0 as a pro with 2 finishes, 2-0 in the LFA. 29 years old. Weighing in at around 240. He looks leanish in there compared to other heavyweights. He can be backed up a little bit in fights, and can sometimes have trouble getting clean lands against high pressure. His striking defense is decent. I find his hands are a little bit low at times, can be a little bit hittable. Does look for takedowns, not the best technique in the world, but I do like how he powers through them and tries to run through those TD attempts. You know, he's strong. He had a nice rear naked choke last time out. I think he's going to have the speed advantage in this fight, but I don't know if he's going to have the power advantage. I think he probably will have the cardio advantage in this one too. Seems like he's a pretty fit guy. And then looking across the cage at Garrett, he's 6-2, 2-1 as an amateur with 2 round 1 finishes, 1 round 1 KO loss. As a pro, 6-2, all 6 wins were round 1 finishes. Both of his losses came by knockout. There was a no contest with Jack Swagger from the WWE days on Bellator. So, you know, that's an interesting one there. I think he's going to have a slight size advantage in this one. I think he's going to be a little slower, though, on the feet. You know, he's weighing in a lot closer to the 265 limit than Heiderman will be. But honestly, guys, I kind of liked what I saw out of Garrett. I mean, he looked... like I liked his head movement and his feints a little bit better than what we were seeing from Heiderman. His striking defense I liked a little bit better. He does swing a little bit wild, and he is very open to be hit when he does that. You know, there's a reason all his fights end early. He's normally getting an early KO or getting KO'd early, so sometimes he's a bit of a KO or bust kind of guy. I think his cardio is going to be a little bit worse here. I did kind of like what I saw him out of his wrestling. You know, he's got pretty decent technique, and I feel like, you know, with his extra weight, that's definitely going to come into play. I think he's going to have a strength advantage, and I think if he gets top control here, he's going to be able to dominate that. You know, if it gets down and he's on top, I think he's definitely live to end this with some ground and pound. He does have the ability to, you know, advance on the ground, have some guard passes, try some submissions. You know, when he gets his hands locked on double legs against the cage, he's able to find that takedown. And to be honest, I'm a little bit surprised at how big of a favorite Heiderman is in this one, to be honest. I kind of like Garrett here. I feel like he's fought better guys. He's more experienced as a pro. I think that there's definitely a path to victory here with him getting it to the ground and just dominating top position. I think the line is a little bit off, so I'm actually going to be going with Garrett in this one, guys. I think the underdog can pull it off. And now moving on to George Garcia and Ricardo Diaz at 135. So Garcia 9-4 on a 5-fight win streak that was ended in his last fight, and that was back in 2019. That was the last time he fought. He's getting some training in at Black House. He had a fight to Kyler Phillips a while ago where he was defeated, but you know, that's a nice name to have on your resume. He's got pretty nice head movement. You know, he mixes in that low kick. He's a pretty good grappler. You know, he's tough. He's durable. Good wrestler. He's very fast. He has good hand speed. He loves that rear naked choke. When he gets the back, he's looking to lock that in as soon as possible. And across the cage, we have Ricardo Diaz, who's also 9-4. And he is on a 2-fight win streak after winning his LFA debut last fight. You know, I feel like technically speaking, I do like his striking here. He's also a fast guy with really quick hands. He's a pretty good grappler as well. I don't believe that he's as good of a pure wrestler as Garcia is, but he may have the technical striking advantage here. But, you know, Garcia, I really like his pressure and volume, so I think it's definitely going to be close on the feet. You know, Diaz is training out of King's MMA, which I like, but I mean, I feel like this one should be lined a little bit closer to a pick'em, guys. Like, I feel like this is a pretty tight matchup, but I am gonna lean with George Garcia here, gorgeous George. I feel like Garcia, he has a lot of volume. He has a very tenacious wrestling attack at times, and I think this fight is very close. It's a good matchup. You know, shout out to the matchmakers on this one. This is going to be a fun one, but I'm going to slightly lean with Garcia to get this one done. And moving on to Vernon Lewis and Alejandro Solorzano at 265 at heavyweight. So Vernon Lewis is 8-4. He's on a 2-fight win streak. Both of them were on LFA. He had 1 finish from ground and pound. He has a win over Jared Vandera on his resume. That's a nice one to have. You know, I could see a decision, but I do think that that Vernon Lewis is the play here. So moving on to the main event, we have Kirk versus Daniel Swain at 145. So Kirk is 10-4. He's got a long 75-inch reach. That's going to give him a 5-inch reach advantage here. You know, he's a well-known LFA guy. He's back on track with his last fight after losing 2 straight. One of those was to Bruno Souza on LFA, who is a really good looking prospect right now. And another one was to Billy Quarantillo on Dana White's Contender Series. And obviously we know Quarantillo in the UFC, he's a good fighter. And he was able to beat Kevin Kroom on LFA before that fight against Billy, and he really dominated Billy Quarantillo in the first round. Looked really, really good. Nice grappling. You know, we're looking for those takedowns to escape the pressure. He's got nice transitions and passes on the ground. He's always looking to advance. Pretty good takedown defense as well. He's a good athlete. Kirk is a pretty decent striker, good head movement. He's got pretty nice kicks. I really like his front kick when he throws that. He throws a lot of 1-2s. That right cross is pretty good. He doesn't put all that much pressure. He won't necessarily take the center right away, but once he gets going, he really turns that up. And he does look most dangerous, in my opinion, when he mixes in those high kicks and flying knees. I just like when he starts putting the pressure on. His striking defense is okay. But yeah, I really like those knees and kicks from Kirk. And then looking across the cage at Daniel Swain, who is 20-11, he's got a ton of experience. Had some pretty, really decent wins on M1, if I'm being honest. Some nice results there. He's an excellent wrestler with a good sub game. He lost to TJ Laramie on Dana White's Contender Series most recently, and that was due to a rib injury at the end of the first round. And Laramie was able to have success grappling with him. He had a fight against Alex Da Silva on M1 where he had a really strong first round and then gassed out pretty hard. I do kind of like his feints and head movement on the feet. If Kirk gets him down, Swain will try to set up some submissions off his back. But ultimately in this one, guys, I think I'm going to go with Kamwela Kirk. I just feel like he's more well-rounded. I think that he does have the advantage on the feet here, although Swain's stand-up did surprise me a little bit. He's a little better than I thought he was, but I do think Kirk has that advantage. I really like his reach advantage. And, Kirk is just a proven guy on the regional scene, and I like him to win here, but I do think that Swain is definitely live. Before running tape on this fight, I was a little bit more confident in Kirk than I am now, but I do still think he gets the win. So those are going to be my picks for the LFA card this Friday, guys. Best of luck if you choose to bet it, and thanks for watching as always. I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.